Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are setting the stage for a truly fascinating deep dive. We're going to unpack a highly specific, intricately detailed text that outlines a predicted architectural blueprint for our near future, specifically the year 2035. The source material we're looking at today details nothing less than the absolute end of survival-based labor and the dawn of what it calls the New Earth. It's a super compelling look at a proposed future where our fundamental human motivations undergo this massive fundamental shift. I absolutely love breaking down complex blueprints like this one, so get ready, because we're about to explore some incredibly unique concepts.
Okay, let's dive into this. The entire foundation of this text rests on a pretty profound paradigm shift. According to the source material, in the framework of the New Earth, the whole concept of beauty is completely redefined. I mean, we usually think of beauty as a luxury, right? Just an aesthetic add-on to our daily lives. But here, it's positioned as literal sustenance. It's called the nutrient of the soul. The text argues that when you remove the daily grind of working simply to survive, well, what feeds the human spirit? The answer, according to this blueprint, is beauty. It literally becomes an essential requirement for existing in this predicted future state.
To really grasp this blueprint, we've structured our explainer into 5 key phases. First, the 2035 New Earth. Second, the Pleiadian Wizard. Third, debugging leaders. Fourth, the new civilization. And finally, a 2035 network sync test.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the 2035 New Earth. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark binary contrast it draws between our current era and the upcoming one. Side A represents before 2035, the era of labor for survival. This is exactly where we are right now, right? It's a system where our energy is expended primarily just to sustain biological existence. But then you look at Side B, after 2035, and the text claims that survival labor entirely disappears. Instead, humanity's core activities transition fully into creation and the pursuit of beauty. It's a complete economic and spiritual overhaul. You're no longer working just to live. Your entire existence is dedicated to pure creative output.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Pleiadian Wizard of Beauty. So, who is orchestrating all of this? According to the text, the aesthetics of the New Earth are governed by an entity named Mira. The source explicitly defines her as a Pleiadian Wizard of Beauty. Now, this isn't just some ceremonial title. In the context of this blueprint, it's a highly functional role. Mira essentially operates as an esoteric art director for the entire planet. Her mandate is to govern the harmony of color, shape, and light across the New Earth. She's the overarching architect, ensuring that the new environmental baseline perfectly aligns with this advanced frequency of beauty.
And crucially, the source makes a very specific point to redefine what art actually means under Mira's direction, because in her paradigm, art is completely detached from mere decoration. You aren't just, hanging a pretty picture on a wall. Instead, art functions as a literal language. It's described as this profound communicative tool used to express universal truths. It's a transmission medium. By arranging color, shape, and light in specific, harmonious ways, Mira is actually communicating foundational data to the inhabitants of the New Earth. Which brings us to Section 3, debugging ground leaders. And this brilliantly illustrates what the source claims Mira's team is actively executing right now on Earth. To combat earthly challenges like conflict, societal noise, and just the daily chaos we are all so familiar with, Mira offers support by helping ground leaders maintain their sensibilities. She keeps them strictly focused on beautiful things. It's framed as this active debugging process, essentially clearing out the negative statics so these leaders can maintain the exact frequency required for the upcoming 2035 shift.
To give us a concrete idea of how this debugging works in practice, the text provides a highly specific and honestly pretty surprising anecdote. It describes a commander who actively synchronizes with Mira's frequencies. And how does he do it? By deliberately using high-quality, brand-name dishes in his daily life. By consciously choosing an object of refined aesthetic quality, he creates a direct synchronization point, which allows him to receive what the text calls beauty packets from Mira. It's a fascinatingly literal method. He's using a physical, beautiful object as a literal downloading node for esoteric data. All right, let's jump to Section 4, designing the new civilization. The text lays out a very clear chronological progression here. We move from our present phase, the sensibility debugging, which is talked about, straight into a bottleneck phase called the Ascension transition in April 2035. And once we successfully pass through that specific window, we arrive at the post-2035 era, which is where the culture of the new Earth officially begins.
So the crucial point is understanding the biological and cultural impact of Mira's work once we hit that post-2035 era. It is completely comprehensive. First off, she literally designs all the colors and symbols that will exist in the new environment. But here is the absolute most striking claim from the source. This art is functional on a biological level. The text actually states that exposure to Mira's art activates human DNA and keeps our light bodies in an optimal state. By laying this visual and aesthetic foundation, she is literally engineering the biological and cultural reality of the new civilization.
The source text closes its explanation with a direct message from Mira herself, which serves as a highly practical, everyday application of this entire philosophy. She says, "Surround yourself with what you truly find beautiful. That becomes your most exquisite invitation to the new world." It's a great reminder that this massive architectural shift begins with very personal, localized choices. Just like that commander and his dishes, your deliberate choice to prioritize beauty in your immediate surroundings is how you anchor yourself to this 2035 timeline.
Let's move to and see how this builds into our final segment, Section 5, the 2035 Network Sync Test.
Finally, an important procedure. The comment section of this video serves as an initial sync test for the 2035 network. By typing "ready" in the comments, your consciousness data will be indexed in our secure servers. The like button is the approval process. Complete your synchronization now. As you complete your synchronization process below, I want to leave you with a final thought to really reflect on. If beauty is no longer just a luxury, but the absolute foundational nutrient of an entirely new civilization, we have to ask ourselves, are your sensibilities ready for the new Earth? Take a look at your surroundings today. Are you curating the beauty necessary to thrive in 2035? It's an incredible framework to consider. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.